everyone. Hello, and welcome to our BG5 Live. Today is March 30th, 2021. This is episode number 98. And today we're going to be taking a look at trait number 21. So we're all in control. So trait 21 and in quality one. So we're going to take a look at control, and we're going to take a look at the use of force as a last resort. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. So let's say hello to our panel before we get started. We have a lot of kitties present here as well. So Moxie says hi. So there we go. All right. So let's start with Linda. Hey, Linda, how are you doing? Welcome.
Hi, yes. So thanks to be here. I'm really grateful to be here, and hello everyone. And I don't have a cat, so I feel like I'm not in control today. I'm missing something.
Love it. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Natalie, welcome.
Yes, happy to be here and looking forward to this session.
Great. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And Anna, our innovator, welcome. Great to have you here.
Hi, all, and thanks for being here. And yes, right now I have 5 cats in my house. I'm babysitting, so I have way too many. That's way too many.
Well, great to have you here. Welcome, welcome. And our special guest again, our advisor, Juan Jose. So welcome, welcome. Great to have you join us.
Hello, thank you very much. And I have a dog. Yes, I have a dog, and this maybe you can hear in a moment. But I think this is this 21 has to do with that, with the control of our pets, and or also with the. Yes, they are part of our family, and there is this. It is relate with the pets also. Yes.
I love it. Love it. Thank you, Juan Jose, and thank you for joining us. All right, let's dive in. So again, taking a look at trait 21 in quality one, taking a look at control, using force as the last resort. Now, once again, we have come to the end of March. We will then be moving into April, of course, next week. And so we have been going through March, this journey of logic, crisis, and innocence in March. So we started with doubt. We moved into this openness in the 22. We had the crisis in the 36. The crisis led us to this innocence in the 25. Last week, we took a look at both innocence and opinions in the 17. And that leads us to the last trait in March, which is control. And control is interesting. It's biting through, it's the hunter, it's the huntress, and it is the power of the will. So this is what we're going to be exploring today. So you can see today's chart here in the 20 and the 21. You can see on the opposite side of the 21, we have a 45. I think, Anna, you have the 21. And I think Juan Jose and Natalie, you have the 45 on the other side. So
I have both.
Oh, exactly. You have both. Exactly. So we're going to be taking a look at what control is all about, and do we have things under control or not? So let's start by just exploring what control is all about. So it is the justified and necessary use of power in overcoming deliberate and persistent interference. So it's making sure, again, that things are under control. This power is fulfilled through demanding control of the environment. So one of the things, if you have trait 21 especially, success comes when you can control your own material resources, when you can control your environment, meaning where you live, what you wear, whom you work for, and how you make a living. So if you do have trait 21 defined, one of the things that's very important is making sure that you have this opportunity and this possibility to be in control, and specifically to be in control of your own life as well as your own material resources. Now, one of the things about control that's important to understand is that if you attempt to assume power or control without being asked or without being invited, you will encounter forceful resistance. So you need to make sure that that you are invited to take control, because oftentimes, if people take control, there's often a lot of resistance. It was funny when we started this, Linda was saying, "Oh, I see control. I immediately want to resist. Immediately want to go against it." So it's interesting in taking a look at what control is all about. So I would love to start hearing from our panel about what control is for you. I'm going to start with Linda, because you don't have trait 21, and then we'll go to Anna to find out if you have trait 21, what is it all about, and then we'll go to Natalie and Juan Jose, who they don't have 21, but they do have the opposite trait, which is the 45. So let's start with Linda. So what is your perspective, and what do you see about control?
Yeah, I see multiple things, but for me personally, when I come across people that want to control me, I'm going to rebel. Yeah, I really feel it because it's open for me. So I will amplify their willpower and I'm also, when clients have this, then I really emphasize that they have to be in control of their own environment, not of me, not of other persons. But it's really, for them, it's really important. That's what I notice. But for me, it feels like, yeah, not always that positive. But I can also sense that it's in a way also beneficial. Everything has two sides, but for me, in experiencing, and because willpower for me, because it's open, it's really, it's really a pitfall, and it will still be. But the trait 21 of all the characteristics that are in the willpower, I really feel like I have to go kind of a direction, and also that people feel that they do the doing for you. It's also when you have the 45. I'm also curious how Natalie and Anna are perceiving this. They are overseeing things, but the 21 is in control. I am doing the stuff, so I want to have the credits for it. And it's a trigger point, there's competition. So it's really, I feel always tension when it comes to control. And when I take a look at our world, I also feel that our government wants to be in control of us. And I really don't want them to decide for me what I have to do. So, and maybe it has everything to do with my design, but I amplify the controlling part. If they say you have to wear a mask, I say no. If they say you have to do this or that, I say, why? Or I can really amplify the controlling part and really be, no, it's, like I want to control them back.
Yeah. And that's a really good point. If you don't have the 21 and you don't have the 45, right? How is this trait 21 affecting you? Right? Are you then wanting to then be in control and fight against the control as well? Yeah.
Well, it happens to me. So, and then I encounter maybe forceful resistance, but they also encounter resistance from my part. So
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Linda. Yeah, really great insight. And I would love to hear from Anna. Anna is our innovator. This is an innovator strength. So this is a strength that Anna has in having both the 21 and the 45. I would love to hear your perspective, both in being an innovator and having this particular strength. Right. This is your innovator strength, and also how you experience the 21 and the need to be in control on top of being an innovator as well.
They go hand in hand. And one of the on my chart, I have the 21 in Jupiter, which is your personal law, which is your the thing you really have to listen to, because if you don't listen to your inner messages, you're going to be abundantly poor, and if you listen, you're going to be abundantly well. So I've been at the extremes of both and everything in between. But one of the things I find with the 21, and I'll say this, I have references now as an older person and a younger person, so I have lots of comparisons here. Before I really understood what being an innovator was, I did get a lot of resistance, and not so much because I wanted control, but that the energy was, my initiating power needed to be able to put that in the environment. And people would often feel the impact of whatever I said or whatever direction I was trying to go in. And they would perceive me as controlling. Certain people would, not everybody. But as I learned more about my own decision-making strategy, the need to inform, that resistance really has lightened up. And I think for anybody, even if you're not an innovator, the real key to understanding control is through your decision-making strategy. Nobody can control you if you're operating within that. Of course, there's forces at hand, governments or medical systems or school systems. There's lots of influence and conditions we meet every day. But in terms of having control of your own resources, which is what that really is about, you're in control per se of your decision-making strategy, and that's going to release a lot of the resistance you might feel, or because you always have that. That's, to me, that's my sense of resilience, no matter what's going on. And like I said, I've been in great situations, not great situations, but through decision-making strategy. And as an innovator, that's about signaling before you say and do. It's about introducing that you're about to make ripples in the environment. Natalie and I were talking about this in class the other day. It's kind of like if you're on a 3-lane freeway and you're in your car and you're just changing lanes, people are going to be surprised and defensive and caught off guard. But if you turn your signal on, then they get that you're going left. They get that you're trying to get to the right lane and get off the freeway, whatever. It's just those subtle little signals as an innovator, and they can be in the form of, I got something to say, or you might not want to hear this and I need to put this out, or some little tiny tidbit of introducing that you're about to initiate something, an idea, and usually the words initiate a frequency that changes things in the environment. So for us, for innovators, we're always moving and changing the environment, and people don't like that unless they're a little bit clued in that it's going to happen. And it's important to keep that change moving. And when you can do it more gracefully or through information, people don't have the same resistance. And it's easy, most people do think of control as being controlled. But as I was reviewing 21 today, I've realized, part of the example in the definitive book is that this is about management. This is about police systems. This is about organizing material form so that it works. It's not just control of material, but controlling protocol, controlling the pathway of correct authority, correct personal inner authority, and how we proceed in our tribe, our community, our family. Because if you don't have a sense of order, if you're just policing somebody because you're over anxious, they're going to be mad at you. But if you have permission, if somebody's elected you, given you permission to take control, one of the most important things about 21 is that if you're trying to take personal control, you fail really bad. If you're serving a higher good, the benefit of the community, you're in balance and you're getting rewarded, they're getting rewarded. The origins to me of control in its good sense is right action.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Really beautifully said, Anna. And this is one of the OC16 strengths as well, one of the large business strengths. And any large business needs some, element of control or organization or management. So again, we can have a resistance to control, but there is a purpose to it as well. Yeah, really beautifully shared, Anna. Thank you so very much. And how about for you, Natalie?
Sorry, I was looking for the mic. But yeah, I wanted to share because it really ties into what Anna says last about. So we have Angela here live with us, and she is sharing that she has the 21 2 times, among which in her life work as well as in her personal law, like Anna. And she has a personal motto: I assume control from the highest and best for all. That's her motto. And then once people realize that's my personal motto, then most are able to accept my control, which ties into what Anna said about, you do it for the good of the tribe, right? To organize the tribe, to organize an organization. So I do have the 45. I have the 45 actually 3 times. And yeah. Here I go again with I'm also on the life work of individualism, and I don't, so it doesn't really, like Linda gets upset, I get upset, they don't, that people shouldn't control me, but I can also just, kind of let it go and just go my own way, or so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have so much to say today.
Yeah, no problem. Beautiful. Well, thank you, Natalie.
Maybe Juan Jose is a good one, and then I can, come in with Juan Jose sharing.
Perfect. How about for you, Juan Jose? What do you say? What do you see in control? How does it affect you,
Yes.
especially
Yes.
in having the 45 but not having the 21?
Yes. I usually have good relationships with the 21 because I have 45, and because also now thinking that you say you need to be invited the 21 to be in control, and I know as an advisor this is more important how to wait to be invited. But the point with this 21, the first thing for me is a mental illusion. Control is a mental illusion. We have not in control of anything. This is the first thing. We are not in control. But if you have this in your illusion in your life, and the illusion of your life, this 21 in your body graph, you need to be in control in this illusion of your life, in these material things. And for that, the first thing is know yourself. You need to be self-control. If it's better for you to know yourself, to be in self-control, no? And that's why you need education. You need education to be in yourself. To be self-control. And also, when you go to the material world, to the tribe, and you want to control the other one, well, it could be okay. It could be okay, but you need education, because you need to know how to be in control. And two things: you need to be invited to that. That is in the correct role. When you are invited to the correct role, this is one thing. And the other thing is, there is a correct way to in this relation. You don't be you are an individual, and you want to control another individual, like Linda. No, you must be humble. You must be polite to take control of Linda. You cannot go and tell Linda what to do. You must ask her to be polite with her. And that's for me, that's 21 is one of these traits that is different in the personal life and in the work life. For example, um, this is perfect if you work in your role in your workplace is a project manager. You are a project manager, you are in control. You need to be in control. And you are not the boss, but you need to be in control, and you need to, and because you are not the boss, you have this pair that you need to talk with her, with him, and you need to know to how to relate with him, how to tell how to treat them. No, this relationship with your peers, your colleagues, must be polite, humble, and wise, and you must demonstrate, because it's ego. You must demonstrate that you are in control. You have all the thing controlling, and in the workplace, this is very good. But in the individual realm, in your home, when you try to control your husband or your wife or your kids or your pet, your dog, is not the same. No, that is my contribution for the moment.
Yes, yes, yeah, beautifully said. I love how you said, it's one thing when you try to control someone else on a personal level, but it can be really powerful within the business context. Again, as I mentioned before, this is one of the OC16 strengths. So, on the other side with the 45, it's about education, and it is about in OC16, we talk about the tension. There's a tension between the 45 and the 21. And if you are doing it for yourself, many of you mentioned this as well. If you're doing it for yourself and you're doing it on a personal level, it doesn't quite work as well as when, again, you work. One of the ways to remove that tension is really seeing that it's for the bigger good, right? It's for the tribe, and we are all in it together. And again, not forcing people to do something with that type of control, but asking so that they can respond. It can make a big difference, right? Still being able to manage and be in control. This is, about implementation, making sure that things get implemented, making sure that things are organized, but at the same time, again, there's that delicate balance between forcing someone or telling somebody to do something from a place of control versus asking someone and inviting someone to do something and allowing them to respond, and again, doing it as a we. versus, I control you. Yeah, really beautifully said. Want
I
to
want
say,
to
I love
jump
what you
in
said.
again.
Yeah, please.
With the 45, I have that at unconscious. And it is about education. It is about personally informing, but also when you educate people, you can do that as a control measure. You can eliminate a whole lot of things. You can control a whole group of people by how you educate them, or through media or what they're exposed to. Or you can inform them, educate them, expose them to a whole lot of options, and then they get to choose what fits, whether that's the life purpose, the direction of their life work, the clothes they wear, whatever, however they want to participate. So yes, there's a tension between the 45 and the 21. For me in particular, the 45 is just sort of automatic, and I enjoy that very much. It's sort of like it's a playground for me. It's great joy to be able to put something out and let's see if it fits. It's not a doctrine, it's not a dictatorship, any of that. It's information, and then whoever gets to choose what fits for them. And that to me goes back to the 21. When you allow people to operate organically from inside, you actually get more order, you get more balance. But it's a little, you can't externally control it. You have to trust the internal parts of self-control, like Juan Jose was saying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really goes back to this last line here, that if you attempt to assume power or control others without being asked or invited, you'll encounter forceful resistance as well. Yeah. And the quality that we're taking a look at today is we're taking a look at quality one. Quality one is about warning. Whenever we take a look at quality one, this is the authority. So if we take a look at this quality one, oops, I forgot to change this out again. This should be the 21. This should be control. So quality one is warning. So it is the use of force as the last resort. So the elevation is the willpower and the ego to ensure respect. This is the fierceness to be respected without recourse to action, meaning that people do what you say because they respect what you say. So you don't need to use force, right? It's basically giving them a warning, and hopefully they fall in line, right? So it's the fierceness to be respected without recourse to action. The challenge, however, is the lack of willpower that is forced to ask for respect. This is an inherent peacefulness that all too often turns a necessary warning into a plea, versus people saying, okay, this is what you need to do. This is your warning. They do it because of the respect, right? And the fierceness of the respect, versus, come on, please, please, I want you to do it, right? So it turns into more of a pleading. So it turns a necessary warning into a plea instead. So I would love to hear from our panel, anything that you see or you notice or recognize within this quality one.
I'll jump in. I was in the pet industry for about 8 years, and Juan Jose mentioned about controlling your pets. The pet industry, I mean, there's pros and cons, definitely. But you basically, when you're a pet owner, you are controlling their environment. It's not an original environment anymore. You have a fence, or you have a cage, or you have a habitat that you set up, and hopefully that fits for them. But a lot of times it doesn't. And one of the things I noticed, especially around dog training, is people people want their dog to obey, and so they get controlling or commanding of sit, 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 you know, and that's so useless, you know. There's no self-control, there's no internal stability or balance from trying to get your dog to sit that in that manner. There's not the correct flow of self-control to the dog, which is really what the message is you want them to have self-control. So when in this challenge, you know, when the pet owner has a lack of willpower or a lack of self-respect, they might be a little too lax, and then they try to use control to get the dog to do whatever they're trying to get them to do. Versus the elevation, you do need a certain amount of ego strength to be in self-control. And that's how you become respected, is that you have that sense from inside. You simply say, sit, you direct them to it, and then you wait.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Yeah.
Love that. Yes, thank you so much, Anna. Yes, Linda.
Yeah, I really resonate to that, because I really feel with my openness that when people want to control or use their willpower in an authentic way, I can get along with them, but I can also sense when it's coming from a place of not using their willpower in a healthy way. So really showing their ego and really controlling or dominating you with what they want to do. And I also had to really laugh out loud, because I was once working in a, I don't know even how you call it in English, but I was working somewhere and I had to go pick up stuff with the person I was working for, and he was just entering the room where his house, and his dog was there on the threshold, and he was just, you go away in your basket. And the dog looked at him, are you ready now? And I had to laugh because I couldn't hold it in. I said, okay. And then his wife came across and she said, okay, in your basket. And there the dog went. So it's really, I really had to laugh when Anna was sharing that, because with my openness, I can feel the difference. Like I'm the dog. I am open to someone who is warning me or is using its willpower when it comes from a place of authenticity. And it also for me has to do with self-worth, because you can use your willpower in an unhealthy way and controlling your self-worth, or just make you believe that they are in control. But when you have the willpower open, you can sense when they are not in control, when they are not feeling worthy, when they are not in flow, and when they are using it in an unhealthy way. And then, well, I will amplify it when I'm not aware. And now I hope I'm aware enough. But that's also, yeah, it triggers because the willpower is such a force. It's such, and the control, it's when it's unhealthy, and that's what we see show up in the world. And also how governments and all institutions use the willpower. And if we think that the willpower, 2/3 of the population has its undefined, that lots of managers and lots of people that are working in businesses or are in leadership positions don't have a defined willpower, you can really feel the unhealthy way of control in this world. And you also can see how it gets amplified and in those days, because in the Netherlands we have lots of demonstrations and it's not calming down. it's a battle between who's in control.
Mm.
And it just amplifies and amplifies and amplifies. So yeah, it's fascinating to see this. And I feel that the place where the control is coming from when I take a look at our government is not authentic. There's a hidden agenda, and that's what lots of people, 2/3 of the world, and also in the Netherlands, are responding to. They feel it and amplify it. So it's and then the government is going to warn us, not do it again, and you have to respect us. Well, we are not going to do that if you're not treating us or inviting us in a different way. So
Yeah. Yeah, really nicely shared, Linda. You know, it's really amazing that just kind of you can feel in a sense that that frequency of when it's authentic, because I was really relating to what you were saying. When it's authentic, there's some people that you just automatically respect and they give the warning and you listen to them, no questions asked. And there's others that you're like, yeah, right. And then they're like pleading, they're begging, they're trying to force you to do it when it just doesn't feel right and it doesn't feel authentic. Yeah, really beautifully shared. Anything for you, Juan Jose, that you would like to add?
Yes, you can not impose the respect from you to the other. You can gain this respect. No, if you are an ego defined like me, you must demonstrate that you are you can they can respect you, but you can trust. They can trust in you. You must demonstrate that, and you earn this respect from the other with your actions.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Anything for you, Natalie?
Actually, there were some sharings and not so much on the Facebook. So Liana is also sharing that with a consciously defined trait 21, in an undefined willpower, she can energetically feel if others are trying to control me, if they are aware of it or not. And then Orna also shared, I'm aware of the control, so find myself in some cases shutting me down to not be it. And this is the other thing, that sometimes people feel like they shut their power down. Like the willpower is a function to be selfish, but in a healthy way. And think about being in an airplane, you first have to help yourself before you can help someone else with the oxygen, right? So but if it comes from an authentic, healthy place, it is healthy for you to be in control. It is healthy for you to have statements like me, my, mine, I have, etc. But we have this negative connotation to it, right? Which it doesn't have to be as richly shared when it comes from an authentic place. But what we see a lot is the amplification and the unhealthy use of, and then blowing it up. And for that sense, if you're self-sensitive, you kind of shut it down. But it is too bad, or a shame, or whatever, because if you stand in your own power, you are authentically in control, and can be respected for it.
Yep, exactly. And this is quality one. So this is the foundation. This is the foundation of what control is all about. And so I think one of the biggest things here is, are you authentically in control and have that respect or not, right? And that really is this warning. And our celebrity that we have today is Ewan Mcgregor. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's one of my favorites. So his life fork theme is tension. Many of you brought up tension when we're talking about trait 21. Part of the life work theme of the 21 is tension. There is a built-in tension in the 21 to be in control or not in control. There is the tension between the 45 and the 21. So the life fork theme is tension. You are a natural boundary setter who likes to be in control of your environment and those in it. And you can be good at policing or supervising situations. And he played the young Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars prequels. He also gained recognition as a young Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars prequel trilogy. He also starred in such films as Big Fish, Beginners, Moulin Rouge. I loved him in Moulin Rouge. Train Spotting, and was cast as Lemire in the 2017 film Beauty and the Beast, and later in the as Black Mask in the Suicide Squad spin-off Birds of Prey. So again, kind of representing this 21, you can see he is an express builder. Now, there's only 2 career types that will have this particular strength. One, like Anna, is the innovator. The other is the express builder. So it's only those 2 career types that will have this particular strength because it is an innovator strength. So advisors will never have this strength. They'll only have one trait or the other. Same with evaluators, because evaluators, of course, do not have any strengths, or the classic builder. So a classic builder won't have this because it is an innovator strength. So we can see that he is an express builder, and he does have that entire strength as well. And he has trait 21 in quality 1 as part of his core essence. I don't know if any of you would like to, if you're familiar with Ian Mcgregor, or would like to add anything. No? All right. So, so in a moment, I'd like to have a statement from each person in our panel just to wrap up what to take a look at, because we're in trait 1. So this week we will be in control this week, and what you see. So again, if you want to find out what your career map is all about, if you want to find out, do you have it defined or undefined, you can download a free personalized chart at the BG5 businessinstitute.com website. You can also check out our past episode in our free resource library or on YouTube. You can also get a free report and find out what, as we move through all of the different qualities of trait 21, you can see which quality we're in if you go to BG5 Live on our BG5 Business Institute website. Also, we have classes coming up in May. We're just wrapping up our January classes. We have classes coming up both in April and May. So check it out. I know, Juan Jose, you have a class starting, I think it's semester 2 starting in April. So we have a couple of classes starting in April. We have many classes starting in May. So check out our calendar. We'll probably also this month have a couple of, maybe have a little mini summit or have some free webinars as well in this upcoming month of April as well. So we'll let you know about that. Would love to have you join us. So let's wrap everything up. Again, we're going to be in trait 21 throughout this week. So what are some things to pay attention to that people should be aware of as we move through this week being in trait 21? Who would like to start?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Start. For me, I don't have this trait. I have the 45. But for me, this week is always a nice week to learn self-control. For me, it's a learning process, and always we can learn more about ourselves, about this quality that we can understand to take this balance in our life and have this sense of control in our life. Self-control.
Love it. Yeah, beautifully said, Juan Jose. Thank you so very much. Yes. And how about for you, Anna?
Yeah, I like that word balance, because correct control is a balance of both receiving, if you're a manager, if you're a a teacher, whatever, if you're in a position of being empowered to take control of resources, you need to receive what your family or your community or your work team is saying, what they're communicating, as well as what you're controlling or what you're externalizing. So there's this flow between receiving and externalizing, rest, work. There's just a balance in that. And it's an experiment to kind of find that balance, because given situations demand one side or the other a little more, but there's that return of keeping that in balance. And it takes internal respect to manage that internally.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautifully said, Anna. Thank you so, so very much. Yeah. How about for you, Natalie?
I was giggling because he said throughout this week. So very cool. What I like, since we have the personal side now, which is wonderful to take a look at, of how it influences yourself, and then observe the outside world in where is government, or smaller, where do you see like control statements show up in the world, and just observe, right? It's not get caught up in it, but you may hear more of this trying to get the control of the situation, right? In what is happening in the world, in what is stated this week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So listening to where control shows up in the world. Exactly. Thank you so much, Natalie. And how about for you, Linda?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I feel like it's very important to be aware and awake this week, because lots of everyone who's listening, will have the willpower undefined. So you have the influence and it will trigger you. And I feel like just like the other panelists shared, it's an external and internal invitation, as you will. It's an invitation to take a different look at the world, and to be aware that you can sense the control, or that it's more in your face at this moment. And it's important to not get caught up in that feeling, but just see how it works. But also an invitation to take a look at what for you is important. That you can make statements like I am free. For me, is really important. Statements: I love my house. I am living in my, like, in control of your own domain, and feel like in maybe the polarity that you feel outside yourself, that you can really take a look at inside yourself. What do you want? And what makes you feel worthy at this moment? And for me, that's being human, feeling my own rights, worthy to live in a world that is free, that it's open-minded, etc. So it is two sides of the coin. But I feel like it's really important to be aware and to follow your decision-making strategy in navigating these times, but not getting caught up in the turmoil that you may experience extra this week, because you will feel, and that's also, I'm talking to myself, that I have to be aware that I can feel the willpower really influencing me, and not getting caught up in an unhealthy way of amplifying it, but being aware and becoming wise about how this force, and also this beautiful force, works.
Yeah, beautifully said, Linda. Really nice. Yeah, and remember, when we have willpower, right? The life work theme is about tension. So you may experience some tension. I think it's also important, just like our panelists have said, to kind of take a look at, what is control, right? Just ponder, what is control? What is authentic to me when it comes to control, and what is not authentic? Where is it authentic in others, when they are quote unquote in control? Do I respect them or not? And just really ponder and look at what is control. I think it's a beautiful week to be able to explore that, pay attention to it, but also make sure that you are, as many of our panelists mentioned, following your decision-making strategy. It ultimately comes down to that, because you can end up, in a sense, because especially if you have willpower undefined, trying to do things that are not correct just to try to prove yourself. And so really making sure that you're doing what is correct for you, and observing what control is all about. And then next week, we will be talking about shock. So we move into the 51 next week. Next week is about initiation. So it can be awakening, but it can also be shocking as well. So enjoy control this week. Enjoy exploring control, what control is all about, where you resist control, where you accept control, what control is authentic and what a control is not authentic. And so it'll be interesting to explore what control is all about. And then we'll see you next week for shock.
Very good.
Shocking.
Just enjoy control, because next week comes the shock. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you so very much. It's been an absolute honor. Thank you. And we'll see you all next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.